All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the City of Madeira Beach Variance, Special Exception, and Code Enforcement Matters. If you're here for code enforcement, you are in the correct place. We are going to go through the application for the special acceptance, and then we have two variance matters. So again, if you are here for code enforcement, you're in the right place. Just stay because that'll be after we handle these first few. So with that, welcome again to the City of Madeira Beach Special Variance / Special Exception Use Special Magistrate hearing. My name is Bart Valdez, and I'm a practicing lawyer, and I've been appointed as a special magistrate to hear today's cases. I've been practicing law for over 25 years, and I've been appointed to this position in accordance and with the authority set forth under Florida law and the City of Madeira Beach Code of Ordinances. It is my role to fairly and objectively review the matters presented today in these variance requests and special exception requests. As such, I would like to advise you of certain matters related to today's proceedings. Today's matters will be heard in the order that they appear on the agenda. At this time, I have read and reviewed the applications with all attachments, any written submissions by anyone having an interest, any timely submitted written objections, and the materials provided by the city staff. In all cases, the hearing will be conducted in the following order. First, the city will present its case and staff report, and the applicant may ask questions of the city's representative. Second, the applicant will present his or her case supported by witnesses and evidence, and the city may cross-examine each witness. Third, public comment will be solicited or received from parties directly affected by the variance. Individuals testifying do not have the right to cross-examine the parties. All public comment shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. Last, public participation will be closed. I will deliberate and then make a decision to grant or deny each request in the applications. Formal rules of evidence do not apply to this proceeding. However, I will exert every effort to ensure that fundamental fairness is afforded to all parties. After my decision today, I will issue an order. The order will be reduced to writing, and you will be provided with a copy by mail. Therefore, please make sure that we have your current address. Additionally, you are advised that I do not have the authority to grant you a building permit. You must still obtain a building permit for any work you intend to do on your property. If you wish to present any information to me today, it is necessary that you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth. Therefore, in just a moment, the city attorney will administer the oath and swear in all witnesses. If you expect to talk to me today during the hearing, then you will need to rise and be sworn. This includes any members of the public who are directly affected by the variance and may wish to provide public comment. All right, anybody who's going to want to talk to me today, please stand up and be sworn in.
Stand up, raise your right hand. Anyone that's going to speak, you have to stand up, raise your right hand, and be sworn under oath. You swear that the testimony you're going to give today is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you.
All right, the first matter on the agenda is SE 25-02, the application for a special exception by Fruit Float Cafe. Is the city ready to proceed?
We are.
Go ahead, Mr. Trask.
As a preliminary matter, I just want to bring to your attention that today the city received a notice of intent to become an affected party, and I need to discuss with you the code section that applies to notices of intent. The notice of intent, although it was signed on September the 10th, it was not received timely. Section 2-6 of the city code, subparagraph B, provides mailed and published notice for quasi-judicial proceedings shall advise that any affected person may become a party to such proceeding entitled to present evidence at the hearing, including the sworn testimony of witnesses and relevant exhibits and other documentary evidence, and to cross-examine all witnesses by filing a notice of intent to be a party with the city clerk not less than 5 days prior to the hearing. That notice was received today. It is not timely. That doesn't mean that they can't testify. It's just that they should not be treated as an affected party because they failed to meet the provisions of the city code. With that being said, the city would call Mr. Morris to testify on the city's behalf. Andrew, if you could please state your name, occupation, your job responsibilities here at the city.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Morris. I'm the long-range planner for the Community Development Department. Marcy, our Community Development Director, will also be supporting about the handicap parking question.
Okay, and your job responsibilities here at the city, Andrew?
I handle land development regulation amendments, comprehensive plan amendments, and special exception uses and variances. And I wrote the staff report for this special
All right,
exception use.
so you're familiar with the application SE 2025-02 titled Fruit Float Cafe, correct?
Yes, sir.
You prepared the staff report and recommendation, correct?
Correct.
All right, if you would go through that staff report and recommendation.
Okay. For the approval of a special exception use to operate a cafe in the Johns Pass Resort Character District of the C1 Johns Pass Village Activity Center zoning district. The specific code provision is Section D 105 special exception uses, Johns Pass 3, Johns Pass Resort, a retail, commercial, restaurant, and personal service uses as a standalone use. Standalone commercial by exception, special exception use can only front Gulf Boulevard. With the background, the applicant is requesting the approval of a special exception use to operate a cafe in the Johns Pass Resort Character District of the Johns Pass Village Activity Center. The proposed business is named Fruit Flow Cafe. The business would be selling fruit-related beverages, fresh cut fruit, acai bowls, coffee, and toast. Next part of is criteria for the special exception use. The first one is that the use is a permitted special use. Retail commercial uses like a cafe require special exception use in the Johns Pass Resort Character District. The commercial use would need to be located along Gulf Boulevard. The Johns Pass Resort Character District is a mix of mostly temporary lodging and residential uses with some limited commercial uses along Gulf Boulevard. The proposed commercial use would be compatible since the property that the business is located on has frontage along Gulf Boulevard. The proposed commercial use would have a relatively low impact and be compatible with the nearby temporary lodging and residential uses. The next criteria is that the use is so designed, located, and proposed to be operated that the public health, safety, welfare, and convenience will be protected. This property has had other previous retail commercial uses. The applicant did get a remodel permit to make improvements to the building, including installing a kitchen. Fruit Flow Cafe has a Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation license for permanent food service. The proposed special exception use for a cafe would operate in a manner that protects public health, safety, welfare, and convenience. The next one is that the use will not cause substantial injury to the value of other property in the neighborhood where it is to be located. The proposed commercial use would not cause substantial injury to the value of other properties in the neighborhood. Smaller neighborhood-style commercial uses are compatible with nearby residential and temporary lodging uses. The proposed cafe is across the street from Johns Pass Village, which is primarily commercial uses. That the use will be compatible with the adjoining development and proposed character of the district where it is to be located. Johns Pass Resort Character District allows for limited commercial uses along Gulf Boulevard. Limited commercial uses would be commercial uses that would be neighborhood-oriented, pedestrian-friendly, and low intensity. These restrictions are to make sure that standalone commercial uses have a minimal impact on nearby residential and temporary lodging properties. The proposed cafe would be compatible with the Johns Pass Resort Character District since it would be focused on serving nearby residents and visitors. The next one is that the adequate landscaping and screening is provided as required in the land development regulations or otherwise as required. Under findings, the applicant did add some landscaping to provide a minimal buffer between the proposed cafe and a neighboring triplex property. They also installed some potted plants in front of the cafe. Since the proposed cafe would be considered a limited commercial use in an existing legally non-conforming building, the current landscaping and screening would be adequate. The next one is that adequate off-street parking and loading is provided and ingress and egress is so designed as to cause minimum interference with traffic on abutting streets. The applicant has off-street parking on site. The applicant listed 8 seats and 2 employees, which would require 3 parking spaces. The current parking lot is asphalt overlaid with shell. The applicant will be providing an accessible parking space that meets the requirements in section 110-975 parking spaces for persons who have disabilities. The proposed cafe would not cause significant interference with the traffic on abutting streets since the property is in the Johns Pass Village Activity Center. Supporting walkability is important. The proposed special exception use for a cafe would support walkability because nearby residents and visitors would be within walking distance of the establishment. The next one is the use conforms with all applicable regulations governing the district where located except as may otherwise be allowable for planned unit developments. The proposed special exception use for a cafe conforms with the requirements of the Johns Pass Resort Character District. Limited commercial uses are allowed along Gulf Boulevard within this character district. The proposed cafe would be compatible with the beachside theme of the Johns Pass Resort Character District. If a variance is also desired and/or required, a separate application shall be submitted concurrently with the special exception application. Under findings, the applicant has not applied for a variance related to the proposed special exception use. Next one is the special exception use will not grant the land more privilege than the best use available in a zone where that special exception use would be a principal permitted use. Other neighboring properties with frontage along Gulf Boulevard could apply for a commercial retail special exception use. The proposed special exception use would not grant the land more privilege than the best use available in a zone where the special exception use would be a principal permitted use. And then the next one is no application for special exception use shall be considered by the special magistrate until the applicant has paid in full any outstanding charges, fees, interest, fines, or penalties owed to the city by the applicant or the owner or possessor of the property under any section of the code. Under findings, the applicant does not have any outstanding charges, fees, interest, fines, or penalties owed to the city. Under staff recommendations, staff recommends the approval of SE 2025-02 with the following conditions. The applicant must provide one accessible parking space that meets the requirements in section 110-975, parking spaces for persons who have disabilities within a time frame to be determined at the public hearing. Landscaping installed near the fire hydrant must be corrected to provide a 3-foot clearance for all directions so as to not impede access. The applicant must comply with public works requirements for trash services. And attached to the staff report is the application and attachment, public notice mailing and posting, and then the public comments in support for the approval of this special exception use.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. So on the public response to the notices that were sent out that the city received, were all of those in favor or in opposition, or was there a combination of both?
All the public comments we received were positive and in support.
I'm sorry, none in support, none in opposition?
We did not receive any in opposition for the public comments that were sent in.
Okay, all right, thank you. I have no further questions of Mr. Morris, so would tender into evidence the agenda packet, which consists of pages 3 through 51. I'd also note that there was an additional comment that was received today that has been provided on the dais. Ask that that also be received into evidence. Lastly, I'd ask that you receive into evidence the notice of intent to become an affected party. Although I mentioned that early on in the presentation, I did not mention the name. The name was Patricia Ryan, care of Rejoice Investments, LLC. Ask that to be received in evidence as well.
All right, Mr. Trask, I'll go ahead and accept into evidence as exhibit number 1, the agenda packet, which is page number 3 through 51. Exhibit number 2 will be the numerous emails that were received in support of the application. Will be exhibit number 2, and exhibit number 3 will be the notice of intent to be an affected party by Patricia Ryan, care of Rejoice Investments, LLC. Anything else from this witness, Mr. Trask?
Not at this time, thank you.
All right, let's deal with this issue right now. Patricia Ryan, are you here today? Patricia Ryan, the person who is on behalf of Rejoice Investments, LLC. All right, I'll note for the record, Mr. Trask, it almost looks like this person may be confused based upon the second page. So I don't know if this person really intends to be an affected party or just return this because she got something in the mail. But I will note for the record that Patricia Ryan is not here. This was late filed. As such, I'll go ahead and grant the, I don't know if it's a motion, but I will go ahead and treat her. She can testify just like anybody who wants to be a member of the public, but I agree it's late filed, plus she's not here today. So we'll deal with that issue. Now, is there anyone here on behalf of the applicant? All right. Who wants to be the primary speaker on behalf of the applicant?
I sure would. I'm Hannah Nygren. I'm the owner of Fruit Float Cafe.
All right. Okay, Ms. Nygren,
Yes, sir.
you have just heard the city's presentation, and this is your opportunity to ask questions of the city. But before we get there, let me kind of tell you the way this is going to play out.
Sure.
So you're going to have a chance to ask any witness of the city any questions. So this is your chance just to ask Mr. Morris questions. You don't have to ask questions because in just a few minutes, I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell me anything you want to tell me.
Okay.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to call any witnesses you want to call. I'm going to give you an opportunity to present any documents you want. But right now, because you're a interested party, because you're the applicant, you can ask Mr. Morris any questions about his testimony. Do you want to ask him any questions at this time?
I don't believe so. I think
All right.
that covered it pretty well.
Very good. Don't go far. I think the city's going to have one more witness. So just have a seat, and we'll let the city call their next
Thank you,
witness.
sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Trask.
City call Marcy Forbes. Marcy, were you sworn in earlier?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you state your occupation here at the city and your job responsibilities?
Marcy Forbes, I'm the Community Development Director. I work with planning, zoning, building department, code enforcement, and I'm a part of permit plan review and special exception use cases.
Are you familiar with this application, SE 2025-02 Fruit Float Cafe?
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the staff recommendation on page 7 of the agenda packet relative to the parking spaces for persons who have disabilities?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain why the city wants this additional condition to be placed on this application?
At the time the report was drafted, she had not had the opportunity yet to install the ADA parking. Since that time, she has actively installed that parking space. There was, I did visit the site yesterday. There's a few things that will still need to be done, but it was added because it is a requirement for her to have that ADA parking space.
How much time do you think is necessary to complete that task if this special exception use is approved?
I would say that she could probably have that resolved in less than 2 weeks. One of the conditions will be the sign that she has is mobile right now, and I did double check the requirements for that, and it does have to be in place, so she will have to probably core drill through the asphalt and bed it into the ground. So I'm assuming that in 2 weeks she could probably have that done herself or find somebody to do that, and that would probably be the longest lead time necessary, I would think, to complete that task.
All right, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
All right, Ms. Nygren, come on back up. Do you have any questions for Ms. Forbes just based on her testimony?
No. I would like to say, though, that both Marcy Forbes and Andrew have been incredibly helpful through this process and have answered all of my questions up to this point. So that's why I don't have any questions.
All right, great. Thank you. All right, does the city have any further witnesses?
No further witnesses.
All right. Ms. Nygren, this is your opportunity to tell me anything you want to tell me. And I will note for anyone here in the public, I have read the emails from all of the following individuals: Chancellor Wilson, Eva Campbell, Katie Corrigan, Katie Cryer, Kreuyer, Kelly McGuff, Kylie Stitz or Stitz, S-T-I-T-Z, Leah Sprague, Lisa Fries, F-R-I-E-S, Matthew Rametta, Nicole Tannenbaum, Olivia Wrightley, and Derek Minutello. So again, all those people can speak today if they want, but I will say I have read every one of those emails in support of the application. So, Ms. Nygren, what is it you'd like to tell me about this application? You've heard that the city is recommending approval with the 3 conditions, those conditions being, number 1, that you have an ADA, a fully compliant ADA parking space, that the landscaping installed near the fire hydrant be corrected to provide a 3-foot clearance, and that you must comply with all public works requirements for trash service. So they're recommending approval with those 3 conditions. But this is your opportunity to present your case. You can call any witnesses, give me any exhibits, tell me anything you want to tell me, or say you agree with the city and we can move on to the next step. So whatever you want to do, this is your part to talk to me.
Well, I certainly do agree with the city, obviously, to recommend that Fruit Float Cafe opens. I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to the community. We're going to be doing, fresh fruit, health foods, which is not something that's readily available in the community as is. As far as the contingencies, I'm happy to rectify all of those as soon as possible. That certainly won't be a problem. I have quite a crowd here with me today, but I don't think that it's necessary to call any additional witnesses. We just want to do a positive thing in the community. So that's all I have to say about that.
All right. If anybody objects, I'm going to give you an opportunity to come back up
Sure.
and address those. Mr. Trask, any questions?
I do have a few questions.
Yes, sir.
The city has recommended 14 days as a time frame to get the accessible parking space completed. Do you feel that that 2-week time frame will work?
Yes, sir. I believe that's plenty of time.
Okay. One of the conditions is also correct the landscaping around the fire hydrant. How long is it going to take you to do that?
Yes, sir. I actually already did that. The fire marshal came by and it was done that same day.
All right. And with regard to Public Works and the requirements for trash service, have you been working with Public Works on that?
Yes, sir. I spoke to Megan and that also shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. So if the special magistrate set that time frame at 2 weeks or 14 days from today, it will all those conditions will be met if he approves this, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No further questions.
All right. Ms. Nygren, I do not have any questions, so just have a seat.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
All right. This is the opportunity in the hearing for any members of the public that are directly affected by this ordinance or want to provide public comment to come up. Again, if you were one of those people who sent an email, you're welcome to come up, but I have read every word of every email that's been sent. So are there any members of the public that want to come forward for or against this application at this point in time? All right. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public comment. Mr. Trask, anything else?
Nothing else, other than in the staff recommendation, it does say within a time frame to be determined at the public hearing. I think that the testimony you've heard so far from both the city and the applicant is that a 2-week time frame would be acceptable to both. So I'm asking that if you do grant the special exception use pursuant to staff recommendations, that you set the compliance time as of September 30th.
Okay. Ms. Nygren, come on back up. I just want to make sure I don't want my ordinance, or I don't want my order to become stale because it's not in that 14 days. I was going to do something to the effect, Mr. Trask, either 14 days or before opening. I mean, I just don't want to have to come back and have another public hearing because
So,
it's the 15th day or something like that.
Yes, sir. I actually did want to make a comment about that. Our grand opening is set with the Chamber of Commerce and with members of the community, of course, barring the acceptance of this special use for Friday. So I would be able to complete that as soon as possible. I mean, today, for example. So I would really like not to delay the opening for 2 weeks if possible.
Okay. Do you have any objection to me putting in either 14 days or before opening, whichever's later?
That's fine. That would be acceptable.
Okay. And then so once that task is completed, how can I verify to go ahead with the BTR and
What-
the acceptance?
Sure. What I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and I'll rule right now that your special exceptions request is granted, subject to the 3 conditions.
Wonderful.
The 3 conditions will be, to be completed in 14 days or before opening. And what I would suggest you do now is, it may be a little while, we've got a couple more things on the agenda, but if you have any questions for city staff, you're going to have them.
Okay.
They usually will hang around a little bit after this meeting, and you can go over any additional questions you have. But I just know they'll be here. Oh, Marcy's leaving?
No, I just wanted to say something real
Okay,
quick.
go ahead.
The Florida, it does allow for the rollaway sign that you have to be used for special conditions. So I don't want to delay your opening, so you can have that sign there. And in the 14 days, it needs to be permanent as agreed to, but for your opening, I don't want you to have to rush through something, but you can have the 14 days because it is allowed for special events, and your grand opening would be considered that. City staff would be okay with that.
Okay.
So I just want to kind of put that into the mix as well.
Sure. I mean, that's something that I will, work on promptly. If the existing sign is a adequate substitute until that permanent post is installed for the opening, I mean, that's of course okay with me.
All right, I'm going to amend my ruling. It's granted, subject to conditions 1, 2, and 3, and I'll just say 14 days. I'm not going to bog it up with your
I so
opening.
appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
So I'll just say 14 days. That's what the city wants. It sounds like you guys have a plan. Again, Ms. Nygren, if you have any other questions, I've got to keep moving on in the agenda, but please hang out and sit here if you want to talk to the city staff. I'm sure they'll be amenable to talking to you after you have any other questions.
Okay. I don't think I have any questions. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
All right, if you were here for that, you're welcome to leave. If you want to stick around and watch... It seems it's going to be a popular place, so good luck on your grand opening. All right, you're welcome to leave if you were here for that. We're going to go ahead and move on now to the second item on the agenda, which is VAR 2025-08 for the property located at 14052 West Parsley Drive. Is the city ready to proceed?
We are.
Go ahead, Mr. Trask.
Before we proceed, I wanted to, with the presentation of the case, I wanted to bring to your attention that the city has received a number of emails from a neighbor of this property. He has, and I'm going to provide those emails to you, dated September the 8th, September the 9th, and September the 15th, where he is asking the special magistrate grant a continuance of this hearing so that he could be present. If I can hand those to you.
Yes, yes, please, because I did tag that here. All right, Mr. Wrestler, are you here? Is there anyone here on behalf of Mr. Wrestler? Perry Wrestler, are you here? Okay. Mr. Trask, I'll go ahead and treat this as a motion to continue today's hearing. I'll hear from the city first as to what your position is, and then we'll hear from the applicant.
City's position is that we'd like to move forward with the presentation of the application, deny the motion for continuance.
All right, is Maria Gielen or anyone on behalf of the applicant here today? All right, come on forward. All right, ma'am, I want to get your position on this first. Apparently, you have a neighbor named Perry Wrestler, and he has asked me to move this hearing, to move it to a later date to continue this hearing. The city's position is I should move forward. Do you have any position on this? You ready to go forward today? Should I move it?
Absolutely go forward.
Okay.
I think he was notified well in advance of everybody else.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Just stay there. Ms. Trask, do you have any concerns about procedural due process notice, or are we ready to move forward today?
We're ready to move forward.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and treat the emails dated September 8th, 2025, September 9th, 2025, and September 14th, 2025 together as a motion to continue. I'm going to deny that motion, and we will proceed with today's hearing. So go ahead, Mr. Trask. Let's call our first witness. And ma'am, you can have a seat. We'll call you back up in just a moment.
Thank you. The city would call Joe Petraglia. Joe, if you could state your full name, your occupation, and your job responsibilities here at the city of Madeira Beach.
Yes, my name is Joseph Petraglia. I'm a planner with the City of Madeira Beach Community Development Department. My job responsibilities primarily consist of reviewing building permit applications for compliance with floodplain and zoning requirements.
Are you familiar with the application for a dock variance that's titled a Variance Application 2025-08?
Yes, yes I am.
Okay. Are you the person that prepared the staff report and recommendation for this variance request?
Yes.
Okay. What I'd like you to do is to go ahead and present your staff report and recommendation.
Sure. So this is VAR 2025-08. The applicant and property owner is Maria Gielen. Property address 14052 West Parsley Drive, Madeira Beach, Florida 33708. Parcel ID 1031-15-34398-018-0130. Gulf Shores 5th Ave, Block R, Lot 13. And the zoning is R1, single family residential. Future line use is residential urban. The request is to construct a new 13,000-pound boat lift and modify and cut the existing dock corner and construct a 12-foot dock extension, adding a new tie pile 1 foot away from the extended east side property line. And the specific code provision is section 14-205 of the City Code of Ordinances, design criteria for private docks. Background. On 5/8/2024, the property owner of 14050 West Parsley Drive, who's the adjacent property owner, applied for a VAR 2024-06 to extend an existing dock and add in a boat lift. After being notified by mail, both adjacent property owners of 14050 West Parsley Drive, including Maria Geelan, the applicant for this variance, met with city staff and expressed their concerns of not being able to access their own docks and lifts. It was then noted that the drawings submitted with VAR 2024-06 were being misrepresented and were not drawn to scale, among some other concerns.
Hold on a second, let me stop you, just so to be absolutely clear. Who is the person that filed the application for variance 2024-06?
That was Perry Ressler, who's the same person that sent those emails that we reviewed earlier.
Thank you.
After it was noted that the application for variance 2024-06 was not drawn to scale, the applicant was notified that the plans would need to be revised to retain a staff recommendation of approval. The drawings for VAR 2024-06 were revised, however, no updated version has been submitted that is both drawn to scale and, in the opinion of city staff, meets the required variance criteria. On August 22nd, 2024, city staff worked with both homeowners to prepare a dock sketch that would allow both 14050 and 14052 West Parsley, so the applicant of this variance and the applicant of the variance from 2024, Perry, the ability to construct reasonably sized docks with a 13,000-pound boat lift on each. The sketch has been included with this agenda packet. The sketch allows the dock at 14050 to extend out further than the dock being proposed under this application for 14052, despite similar property widths due to the mangroves along the seawall of 14050 West Parsley Drive. The last correspondence at the time of this variance being received and the staff report being prepared has been included with this presentation. The property owner of 14050 West Parsley Drive was also notified, as Maria mentioned, by email in advance to the required mailings. It is also worth noting that the drawings prepared by the city in August of 2024 showed the property width as 36 feet wide based on the Pinellas County Property Appraiser's website. However, based on the survey dated 11/27/2024 and included with this application, the waterfront width along the seawall was confirmed to be only 34.77 feet instead of the 36 feet. At the request of city staff, the applicant's contractor has revised the plan view drawing accordingly for this variance. Also, at the request of city staff to ensure precision, the applicant has included with the survey the actual distance of the existing dock from the west property line. The proposed request would not allow this footprint to extend any closer to the west property than what is existing. Part 2 is the criteria and analysis. Criteria 1 is that there has to be special conditions and circumstances that exist which are peculiar to the lands, building, or other structure for which the variance is sought, and which do not apply generally to the lands, buildings, or other structures in the same zoning district. Special conditions to be considered shall include but are not limited to the following. City staff finds that subsection A, substandard or irregular shaped lot, is met. 14052 West Parsley is an irregularly pie-shaped lot, with the lot becoming increasingly more narrow as it extends towards the seawall, which greatly reduced the buildable footprint for a dock and a lift. The rear lot line is arced and is 36 feet wide. The waterfront width of the seawall, which is slightly beyond the rear property line, is 34.77 feet wide. The minimum lot width in the zoning district is 50 feet. City staff also finds that criteria C is met, the residential neighborhood character. The proposed boat lift fits the character of the neighborhood. The R1 single-family zoning district allows for residential docks as an accessory use. Other nearby properties have similar-sized boat lifts and docks. Many of the surrounding docks and lifts would require a neighbor sign-off or a variance because they do not fit within one half of the width and are located outside the center third of the property or waterfront, which is the by right code requirements. Criteria 2, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. A self-created hardship shall not justify a variance. Findings, the plat for 14052 West Parsley Drive and other nearby lots was approved in 1946. The lot predates the design criteria for private dock requirements and is not the result of the applicant. Criteria 3, granting the variance will not confer on the applicant any special privilege that is denied to other lands, buildings, or structures in the same zoning district. Findings, most properties in this zoning district would be able to build a similar sized dock and lift, included in the sketch the city provided with the applicant on 8/22/2024, is a sketch of the dock and lift for the abutting left property, 14050 West Parsley Drive, with a similarly sized boat lift and a dock which the city would also support a variance for. Criteria 4, literal interpretation would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the same zoning district under the terms of the land development regulations, subpart B of this code, and would work unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. Staff findings, a literal interpretation of City Code Section 14-205 would deny the applicant the right to construct a reasonably sized boat lift on their existing dock. Other neighboring properties have similar sized boat lifts and tie poles in line with the boat lift as being proposed by the applicant. Criteria 5, the variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible to the reasonable use of the land. Findings, granting VAR 2025-08 would be the minimum variance possible to allow for a reasonably sized boat lift to be constructed. The sketch the city prepared on 8/22/2024 was designed with the intent of depicting what would be minimally possible to allow both 14052 and 14050 West Parsley to have a reasonably sized boat lift without interfering with each other. All proposed tie piles are at least a foot within the extended property lines, and any other design would likely restrict access to the applicant or the applicant's neighboring property. Since the sketch was prepared for the applicant and their neighbor at 14050, while reviewing VAR 2024-06, no other possible recommendations to reconfigure the dock or lift has been presented to the city by any parties. Criteria 6. Granting the variance would be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of the City Land Development Regulations or Code of Ordinances when it relates to 14-205, and that such variance will not be injurious to the land area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare. Staff findings, VAR 2025-08 will be in harmony of the general intent and purpose of the City Code of Ordinances by allowing for reasonably sized waterfront access at other neighboring waterfront properties that other neighboring properties currently enjoy. The proposed boat lift would fit within the character of the neighborhood and would not be detrimental to the public welfare of neighboring properties. As demonstrated by the sketch, granting this variance would still allow both adjacent property owners to be able to access their docks and build a reasonably sized dock and lift of their own. The staff recommendation is approval, and I've laid out the dimensions based on the sketch. So the approval recommendation would be to extend the dock from 20 feet in length to 32 feet in length from the seawall, to modify the existing dock to construct a boat lift 1 foot off the extended east side property line, and construct an additional freestanding tie poles 1 foot off the extended east side property line. And included with this presentation, I have a few exhibits. Pages 52 through 55 of the agenda packet is the staff report and recommendation that I just read. Pages 56 through 62 is the application form. 63 through 64 is the applicant's responses. 65, which is Exhibit 3 or Exhibit 2, is the plan view drawing prepared by the applicant's contractor. Pages 66 through 67, Exhibit 3 is the city's sketch from 8/22/2024. 68, which is Exhibit 4, is the property survey, which shows the exact seawall width and a dimension from the adjacent property line to the dock, the part of the dock that's remaining. Page 70, Exhibit 6 is an aerial picture. 71 through 85 is email correspondence with Perry Ressler, the adjacent property owner. Pages 86 through 88 is the mailing labels, with 89 is the public notice, 90 is the affected party. And then I've also included as Exhibit 9 the updated email correspondence from the adjacent property owner after the mailing information was sent. And that just is missing the latest email, which we reviewed earlier.
Thank you, sir. I don't have any other questions for you. The city would tender in evidence pages 52 through 100 of the agenda packet.
All right, we'll go ahead and accept into evidence as Exhibit number 1, pages 52 through 100 of the agenda packet. Mr. Trager, I do have just a couple questions because I want to make sure I'm looking at the correct thing and also understanding any objections that were raised in these emails by the, I believe it's the neighbor.
Yes.
Can you look at page 66 of the agenda packet? It's this drawing that appears to have the two
Yes.
docks.
Yes.
So the application I'm looking at is the middle dock on this picture, correct?
No. So the application you're looking at for this application is the one on the left, and I'll pull it up on
Okay,
the
the-
TV screen.
Show me which one we're talking about.
So on the TV screen, it's this one. So this is the applicant that
Okay.
we're reviewing today.
And then what is the dock in the middle then? Who's
The
dock
one
is
in
that?
the middle is Perry Ressler's dock, the adjacent property owner that applied for the 2024 variance. Well, that's the proposed sketch. So this sketch is neither one of these are existing. They're both proposed, and this was designed by the city last year on what can be constructed to fit both of their desires in. So on the right is what we sketched for Perry on what he would be able to construct and what we would support a variance for. And then on the left is today's application for Maria Geelan.
All right, go to page 70, because maybe this is my confusion. If I look at page 70, which is the aerial photo, I see it says Geelan property at top. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out.
So Perry's property is cut off in this aerial. So Geelan's is the vacant lot.
Okay.
And these are obviously the existing docks. The sketch on the previous page is proposed on what could be built.
Okay, so go back. I still want to make sure I'm following you, because if that middle one is the Geelan property, then again, which dock am I looking at to approve the variance for?
So Perry's dock in the aerial picture is on the right. So Perry's property is on the right. And Maria's on the left.
Show me on page 66 of the agenda packet, Ms. Geelan's dock and Mr. Perry's dock.
So Ms. Geelan is on the left.
Okay.
Perry is on the right.
All right. I think I'm following you now.
Yep.
So if
It
you go
just
back,
cut off. Yep.
if you go back to that aerial, Mr. Perry Rustler's dock is the one that's that wooden dock right now?
Correct.
Okay. All right. I understand now. Okay. Mr. Trask, any follow-up questions based upon what I just asked there?
No follow-up
Okay.
questions. No.
All right, Ms. Geelan, come on back up. I assume you'll be speaking for yourself, but if there's anyone else who's going to speak on your behalf, let me know. All right. Okay, ma'am, as you heard before, I'm going to give you the opportunity in just a few minutes to share with me anything you want to share with me. You can tell me anything you want to tell me, call any witnesses, or show me documents. This is your opportunity to ask questions or cross-examine Mr. Petraglia based on his testimony. He's recommending approval of your variance and for the doc, but do you have any questions that you want to ask him?
I don't have any questions. He's been
All right.
awesome.
Don't go far, because I don't know if the city has anybody. You said no questions?
No questions.
Okay.
No other
Petraglia?
witnesses. Thank you.
All right, so go on ahead and accept that into evidence. All right, Ms. Geelan, this is your, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, Gielan.
Gielan,
It's fine.
okay.
I answered anything. It's fine.
All right. Ms. Geelan, this is your opportunity to tell me anything at all you want to tell me about your variance request. And you can provide any documents, call any witnesses, or just tell me what you want to tell me.
Okay. I think all the documents have been presented, but I want to thank you for allowing me to present this variance for approval. Just wanted to give you a little history behind this. I've always wanted to have a boat lift to my property, and this was moved forward when my neighbor, Mr. Perry Ressler, approached me and my other neighbor to the left of him, Tony and Tina Morrison, at 14058 West Parsley, on April 10th of 2024 about adding a boat lift and a new dock. His original plan was for a 52-foot length dock. He ended up reducing it to 48 feet in length by 16 feet at the largest width, and a boat lift. So this was a huge invasive plan that would not accommodate the small curved waterway and our similar 36-foot seawalls. So in addition, it was never drawn to scale, and we also had concerns of a much larger boats he owned other than the 25 to 28-foot size boats he proposed to put there. So we openly discussed our concerns with Mr. Ressler, and we expected continued collaboration to come up with a reasonable plan for both of us. Email was our form of communication since this is not his primary residence. This is his vacation home. Mr. Ressler's last email to me was on April 15th of 2024. I sent numerous emails to him up until June 11th of 2024 with no response. It was obvious that he had no intention of collaborating with us after only 5 days, since I learned that he submitted a special magistrate application on May 8th of 2024. We found out about it once a sign was placed on his front lawn on Friday, June 14th of 2024, for a special magistrate meeting to take place on the 24th of June. I immediately went to the city that afternoon and spoke with Joe and Marcy. Tina Morrison, who was his adjacent neighbor, and I had many meetings with Joe, Marcy, and Al Carrier, who developed the drawing, to express our concerns about our small curved waterway and come up with reasonable drawings to accommodate both parties. We kept, Tina, the Morrisons and I kept our other neighbors involved, and we would have liked Mr. Ressler to join us, but he did not. So on August 22nd of 2024, we agreed to a final drawing that Al Carrier prepared and presented to us. So both of the neighbors agreed. Actually, all of them. We have a number of them on West Parsley. So I want to thank Joe and Marcy and Al for helping us through this process and to come up with the drawing that is being presented today. They have been honest, open, reasonable, and fair to all of us. The plans for both Mr. Ressler and myself made sense in that they would be the minimum variance possible to allow for a reasonably sized boat lift and dock to be constructed for both of us. Mr. Ressler's dock would extend to 36 feet, similarly to the Morrison's dock, but note that they have a 46-foot seawall, and mine would be at 32 feet, and I would modify my existing dock to shave the corner to a smaller size. Included in the application is a copy of my existing dock. It's 8 by 20. Of course, I would have liked something bigger, like Mr. Ressler wanted, but we must consider the impact to our neighbors and make sure that we are all in agreement. So Mr. Ressler had brought up some concerns, which doesn't really make much sense to me. The first being that he's selling his property, and he was well aware that I was going to pursue Al Carrier's drawing. So he should have disclosed this to any potential buyers. And in fact, I believe this is a positive selling feature as a new owner, already having an advantage of a plan drawn for them that we would approve and eliminate a special magistrate meeting and a variance fee of $1,800, which I had to pay. And secondly, Mr. Ressler, back on April 15th of 2024, had a drawing prepared on behalf of me. He took it upon himself to do that, where I would be within 1 foot of his property line at the closest point, which he indicated he would sign off on. So I'll read from that email that he sent me. The attached drawing represents a means by which Maria can have a dock up to 10 feet wide and add a full-size boat lift without crossing property lines and allowing for the neighbors to her right to someday add a lift if so desired. Due to the angle of Maria's lot and property lines, her dock would need to slide closer to our property line, and if 10 feet wide and 20 foot long would be within 1 foot of our property line at the closest point, which we are fine signing off on this. So I guess just in closing, after a year, I'm still working to finalize the permits to rebuild my home. Obviously, I don't have one. And thank you, Joe, for getting the last of it hopefully finalized. And the timing of this variance is just to have everything completed all at once. I was also approved for a new seawall, which the permit has been approved, so I'm hoping to get all of this done at once. And I just want to get back home, and live a good life and just come back home. So thank you, and I hope that you approve this.
Thank you. I understand your testimony. I don't have any questions. Mr. Trask, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
All right. Ms. Gieland, is there anything else you'd like to present to me? Any documents, any witnesses you'd like to call?
No.
All right. As I said before, I'm going to give you an opportunity to come back up if anybody objects, and you can address those.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Are there any members of the public that would like to provide comment to me in regard to variance number 2025-08 for the property located at 14052 West Parsley Drive? Going once, going twice. All right, we'll close public comment. All right, Mr. Trask, anything else?
No, but I think that I heard that you were going to receive into evidence pages 52 through 100. Did you make that acknowledgement that you're going to receive those into evidence?
I'll do it on the record just to be 100% sure. I'll go ahead and accept into evidence as exhibit number 1, pages 52 through 100 of the agenda packet.
Thank you, that's all I have.
All right, based upon the testimony of staff and the applicant, go ahead and grant the variance. All right, let's move on. To the next matter on the agenda. It's VAR 2025-09 for the property located at 13200 Gulf Boulevard. Is the city ready to proceed?
Yes, we are. I do want to bring to your attention that there are 3 notices of intent to become an affected party that have been received by the city. I want to make those known. They will have the right to present testimony and evidence and cross-examine witnesses pursuant to the city's code. Those individuals are Cynthia Edwards, Thomas Edwards, and Ron Loggett, and they're all here in the audience. I see them. I want to bring that to your attention.
All right, fantastic. Okay, Mr. Leggett, Mr. and Mrs. Edwards, what we're going to do is at the end of each witness presentation, where are you? Raise your hands for me. Okay, great. When I finish with each witness, I'm going to let Mr. Trask ask questions first. Then I'll allow you guys to come up. You can do it individually. You can do it as a group, whatever. I just ask that your questions aren't repetitive. You don't need to ask the same witness the same question. I'll hear it one time. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to the city's first witness.
Thank you. I would call Andrew Morris. Andrew, if you could state your full name, please, your occupation here at the city, and your job responsibilities.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Andrew Morris. I'm the long-range planner for the Community Development Department at the City of Madeira Beach. I review variances and special exception uses, and I reviewed the variance in front of us today.
That's variance 2025-09?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and did you prepare a staff report and recommendation?
Yes, I did.
Okay, if you could go over that, please.
And through that, I was just moving the page to the, let's see, it's 101. There we go. Okay. So the request is a variance for a front yard setback along Gulf Boulevard and a variance for 5 feet side setbacks on both sides of the lot. The variance requested for the front yard setback is for 8 feet 7 inches, as the existing structure is 8 feet 6 inches currently, without bump out included. The specific code provisions are Section D 107 setback requirements, 6 transitional, A front yard, C side yard, and Section 110 428 same side yard of corner lot. The variance request for the property at 13200 Gulf Boulevard is to reduce the front yard setback and the side yard setback to allow the construction of a duplex. The property had 2 non-conforming cottages that were encroaching into the required setbacks. These cottages fled during Hurricane Helene, which was considered a declaration of disaster area event. Since the cottages were damaged during Hurricane Helene, Section 110-96 rebuilding after a catastrophic loss allows for duplexes on non-conforming lots to retain their existing density and for single-family homes to retain their footprints. But without the approval of this proposed variance, it would be difficult for the applicant to build a new residential structure or structures that would retain the density of the 2 residential units. On the next page, I made a table that shows what's required in the transitional character district of the Johns Pass Village Activity Center what the now demolished cottages had setback wise and what is being proposed by the applicant. Under Section 2507, variance criteria and analysis, special conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to the land, building, or other structures for which the variance is sought and which do not apply generally to the lands, building, or other structures in the same district. Special conditions to be considered shall include, but are not limited to, the following circumstances, which are substandard or regular shaped lot, significant vegetation or natural features, residential neighborhood character, public facilities, and architectural and or engineering considerations. Under staff findings, the 3 criteria that were met were the substandard or regular shaped lot, the residential neighborhood character, and then the architectural and or engineering considerations. When the lot plat was originally approved back in 1914, the lot had a width of 40 feet and a lot depth of 104 feet. Cottage A was built in 1939 and Cottage B was built in 1925. Both the lot plat and the cottages were created before Madeira Beach adopted land development regulations. When Gulf Boulevard was widened in the intersection of 132nd Avenue and Gulf Boulevard was improved, the lot depth and front lot width along Gulf Boulevard were reduced. The reduction in lot size increased the nonconformities for this property. The irregular shape of the lot and the lot being adjacent to a street make it difficult to reasonably use the lot compared to neighboring properties. The proposed variance would support maintaining the existing residential neighborhood character by allowing the construction of a new duplex. This property is in the transitional character district of the Johns Pass Village Activity Center. The west side of Gulf Boulevard is a mix of residential and temporary lodging uses. A duplex would be a more compatible use for this property than the previous non-conforming cottages that had minimal setbacks. The previous cottages were at grade and flooded with storm surge from Hurricane Helene. Building a new FEMA-compliant duplex would be more disaster-resistant and would not increase residential density in a coastal high-hazard area. The next set of criteria is the special conditions and circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant. A self-created hardship shall not justify a variance. The applicant did not make a self-created hardship since the previous non-conforming cottages and a regular shaped lot existed before Madeira Beach adopted land development regulations. The widening of Gulf Boulevard also made the property more non-conforming by reducing the lot size and front setback. Granting the variance will not confer on the applicant any special privileges that is denied to other lands, buildings, or structures in the same zoning district. The proposed variance would allow for the construction of a new duplex that would not confer on the applicant any special privilege. Other neighboring properties are able to use Section 110-96 rebuilding after a catastrophic loss to retain existing residential density. The proposed setbacks would not increase nonconformities and would bring the rear setback fully into compliance. Literal interpretation would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the same zoning district under the terms of the Land Development Regulations, Subpart B of the Code, or Section 14-205 of the Code of Ordinances, and would work unnecessary and undue hardship on the applicant. The irregular shape of the lot and the lot being adjacent to a street corner make the building a duplex difficult compared to other neighboring properties. Section 110-96, rebuilding after catastrophic loss allows duplexes on non-conforming lots to retain their existing density and for single-family homes to retain their existing footprint, requiring the applicant to meet the required front yard setback and street adjacent side yard setback would deprive the applicant of the rights commonly enjoyed by other properties in the same zoning district. Other neighboring properties on non-conforming lots have the rights to retain their existing residential density, but some would require similar variances for setbacks. The variance granted is the minimum variance that will make possible reasonable use of the land. Since the cottages were damaged during a declaration of disaster area event, Section 110-96, rebuilding after catastrophic loss does allow for a property owner to build 2 new cottages within the existing footprints of the previous structures, but if the applicant had built 2 new cottages instead of a duplex, they would have continued the existing non-conforming setbacks. The proposed variance would be the minimum needed to allow for a new duplex to be built that would retain the density of the previous cottages. Applicant's proposed setbacks would be closer to being conforming compared to the previous structures and would not increase residential density higher than the previous cottages. The granting of the variance will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of the city land development regulations of the code or the Code of Ordinances when it relates to Section 14-205, and that such variance will not be injurious to the area involved or otherwise detrimental to the public welfare. Staff findings. The transitional character district does support residential uses like duplexes. The proposed variance would bring the previously non-conforming property closer to being conforming and would maintain the existing residential density that is protected because of Section 110-96, rebuilding after catastrophic loss. The proposed variance would not be detrimental to the public welfare or harmful to nearby property owners. The applicant would still need to meet all other land development regulation requirements for a duplex located in the transitional character district. Under staff recommendations, city staff recommends the approval of VAR 2025-09 13200 Gulf Boulevard for a front yard setback of 8 feet 7 inches and for a side yard setback of 5 feet on both sides of the lot. Attached is the application and support materials and the public notice mailing and posting.
Have there been any correspondence received other than the notices of intent to become affected parties of people that are either in favor or opposing this variance application?
That
was a question to you, Andrew.
Sorry, I was just checking the pages. We received those 3 affected party forms. I didn't receive any public comments via email or phone for this one. But I did receive 1 phone call from an affected party.
All right, I'd like you to turn to page 102 of the agenda packet. I want to go over the chart that you prepared.
Okay, let me just pull that up.
So layman's terms, for those people that are not people that review variance applications all the time, let's talk about the chart. The front yard setback under the code currently requires the property to have a 20-foot setback, correct?
That is correct.
But the current building is 8 feet 6 inches in the front setback, correct?
They also had that is correct, and they also had a porch that encroached further into the setback. That was 3 feet off the property line.
Okay.
That's why I referenced that in there.
They're proposing something that's less of an encroachment than currently exists, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Let's talk about the side yard setbacks. It requires 5 feet on the interior side, 10 feet street side. Existing is 5 feet each side currently, correct?
That is correct.
And they're going to continue with that, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And then lastly, the structure currently for the rear yard setback is at 1.2 feet, but they would be in compliance with the rear yard setback by building a building that's 18 feet 1 inches, correct?
That is correct.
So this application is putting, if they were to build the structures in the same location as they currently have, it would be more intrusive than it is in this particular application, correct?
That is correct.
All right. So staff recommendation is for approval. You've received no opposition except for the 3 notices of intent.
That is correct, and I did one of the notice of intent. They called me on my work phone, and I answered questions related to the application.
All right. And who was that person that you spoke to?
Tom Edwards.
All right. All right. I don't have any other questions for Mr. Moore. So would tender into evidence pages 101 through 135 of the agenda packet.
All right, I'll go ahead and accept into evidence as exhibit number 1, pages 101 through 135 of the agenda packet. All right, is anyone here on behalf of the applicant, Mr. Jeff Spensley or Azure Coast Properties LLC? All right, come forward, sir. You're Mr. Spensley?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. The city's recommending approval of your variance. This is your opportunity, as you've seen with the others that have gone before you, to ask any questions of Mr. Morris. I'm going to give you an opportunity to come back up in a few minutes and ask or, present anything you want to present. If anybody objects, I'll give you an opportunity to come back after that as well. But do you have any questions for Mr. Morris based on his testimony?
I do not, no.
All right. Have a seat, sir. All right. We'll now go to the affected parties. Mr. Leggett, do you have any questions you want to ask of this witness? All right, and so let the record reflect Mr. Leggett said no. We'll start with Mrs. Edwards. Cynthia Edwards, do you have any questions you'd like to ask this witness?
I'll just make a statement. I'm glad to have somebody.
Okay. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell me anything you want to tell me in a few minutes, Ms. Edwards, but do you have any questions for Mr. Morris?
No, I do not.
Okay. I will give you a chance to make whatever statement you want in just a couple minutes, okay?
Okay, thank
All right. Mr. Thomas Edwards, do you have any questions for Mr. Morris? All right. So all 3 of the affected parties have said they do not have any questions. So, Mr. Trask, do you have any additional questions for this witness or any other witnesses?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Spensley, it's your chance to come forward. This is your opportunity in the hearing to tell me anything you want to tell me, show me any documents you want to show me, and present any witnesses that you want to present, understanding that I have read everything and the city is recommending approval of your variance. So tell me anything you want to tell me.
I don't really think I have a whole lot. I just, Andrew has been fantastic answering questions, and Joseph as well has really helped out through this process. It was my first time doing this, so I look forward to, we've been coming down to the area for 30 years, so my wife and I are really excited to be able to build a place that we can use for our family, and then when we're not, to be able to rent it out as well.
Well, it's a beautiful city, that's for sure. Mr. Trask, do you have any questions for the witness?
No, thank you.
Mr. Leggett, do you have any questions for this witness? All right. Mrs. Edwards?
No, sir, I don't.
Mr. Edwards? All right. All of the affected parties have said they have no questions. All right. Mr. Spensley, have a seat. I'm next. Mr. Trask, should I go to the affected parties next or public first? Okay. All right. Let's start with you, Mr. Leggett. This is your opportunity to come forward and tell me anything you want to tell me about this particular application. Call any witnesses you want to call and present any documents to me you want to present.
I had the opportunity to meet Mr. Spensley out in the hallway and basically told him that Gulf Lane is not an alley but a street, so he agreed to that. Thank you.
And good to see you again, Mr. Leggett. All right. Mrs. Edwards, it's your opportunity to come give me your statement now.
We're pretty passionate about that it is Gulf Lane. It's a named road and it's not an alley. It was also referred to that in a previous statement. But I'm very happy to have some new neighbors coming into the neighborhood.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Edwards, what would you like to share with me today?
I had called Andrew about a week ago. He answered all my questions on the project. We have no objections to what the staff is recommending, and we recommend approval of it.
All right, thank you all very much. And thank you for coming out and participating in today's hearing. All right, are there any members of the public that would like to provide public comment in regard to variance 2025-09 for the property located at 13200 Gulf Boulevard? Going once, going twice. Okay. Nobody from the public wants to come forward. Mr. Trask, anything else?
Just, we would ask that you accept the staff recommendation and approve this variance application.
All right, variance is approved. I did not see any conditions. I will get that order out in the mail to everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, and also go ahead and accept into evidence as Exhibit 2 the notice of intent to be an affected party from the 3 affected parties.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other matters before me on the variance special exception agenda?
No, that's it for today.
Okay, if you are here for variance or special exception, you are welcome to leave. If you want to see what code enforcement hearings look like, stick around. Okay, if you're still here, then welcome to the City of Madeira Beach Code Enforcement Hearing. Again, my name is Bart Valdez, and I am the appointed special magistrate to hear today's cases. I'm a practicing attorney and have been a member of the Florida Bar for over 25 years. I have been appointed to this position in accordance and with the authority set forth in Chapter 162 Florida statutes. It is my role to fairly and objectively review the matters presented. As such, I would like to advise you of certain matters related to today's proceedings. Today's matters will be heard in the order that they appear on the agenda. Every effort will be made to hear all persons having relevant evidence, argument, or comments to offer related to the specific case that is being heard. If you wish to speak today, it is necessary that you be sworn in by the city attorney in just a few minutes. In all cases, since the city has a burden of proof, the city will present its case first. The respondent or property owner then will be given the opportunity to refute the city's allegations. Formal rules of evidence do not apply to this proceeding. However, I will exert every effort to ensure that fundamental fairness is afforded to all parties. After hearing all relevant evidence, I will issue an order. The order will be reduced to writing, and you will be provided with a copy by mail. Additionally, you are advised that I do not have the authority to grant you a variance, permit, or special exception of any kind in today's hearings. My role is solely to determine whether a city code has been violated and to provide you a reasonable time to correct the violation by whatever means is available to you. Please be advised that you may be subject to a fine and a lien may be recorded on your property if the violation is not corrected by the compliance deadline. If you wish to present any information to me, it is necessary that you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth. Therefore, if you did not already rise and be sworn and you want to present anything to me today, please rise and be sworn. So anybody who is not sworn in already that is going to talk to me today? All right, no hands have gone up and nobody's standing up. So we'll go ahead and proceed with the first matter on the agenda, which is case number CE 25-70 for the property located at 14200 Gulf Boulevard. Is the city ready to proceed?
Yes, we are.
Go ahead, Mr. Trask.
I just wanted to make note if there's anyone in the audience, the case that is under 5F CE 2523-14111 East Parsley Drive, that property is in compliance, and we will not be proceeding with that case. Sorry. Okay. So the city, on this particular case, 14,200 Gulf Boulevard, the city would call Holden Pinkard as its witness. Holden, if you could state your name, please, your occupation, and your job responsibilities here at the City of Madeira Beach.
I'm the building compliance supervisor, and one of my duties is to issue building code violations.
Are you familiar with this property that is located at 14200 Gulf Boulevard?
Yes.
Is this a case that came before you as a complaint or proactive enforcement?
Proactive.
Okay. Who's the owner of this property?
Michael J. Marsh.
And how do you know that?
The Pinellas County property appraiser.
On pages starting at 136 of the packet, going through page 140 is a printout from the Pinellas County property appraiser's office. This is where you get the information from relative to ownership?
Correct.
Okay. This being a proactive case, can you tell me when the first contact with this property was and what the issue was?
The first contact was May 2nd of 2025. A wall was being built on the Gulf side, either as a fence or a retaining wall.
And was it you that determined that this building was going on, or was it someone else on city staff that determined that?
Yes, myself, Taylor Davis, and Connor Mecco.
Okay. When you went to the property, did you determine that a particular code section of the code was violated?
Yes, section 86-52 when required, which is when a permit is required.
How did you determine that a permit was not issued for the work that was being done at this property?
Searching our permit software, no applications or permits had been issued.
Okay. So did you issue a courtesy notice of code violation to the property owner?
Yes.
In what date did you do that?
That was May 2nd of 2025.
And is that depicted in the agenda packet starting at page 141 through 143?
Correct.
In that courtesy notice of code violation, did you cite the code section that was being violated?
Yes, section 86-52.
And did you ask the property owner to bring the property into compliance within a date certain?
Yes, that date was May 16th of 2025.
And what was the corrective action that was necessary for the property owner?
That a licensed contractor will need to apply for and obtain an after-the-fact building permit to comply.
Why couldn't the property owner pull the building permit versus a contractor?
Because this is commercial property.
All right. Did the property, well, attached to that letter, there were some photographs. If you could turn to page 143 of the agenda packet. Did you take these photographs?
I did.
Can you explain what they are then?
All four pictures are a picture of the retaining wall that faces the Gulf side. The top left, you can see the rebar and concrete block, and same with the second, third. And it was during construction when work was stopped.
Did the city issue a stop work order?
Yes.
Did the work actually stop?
Yes.
No further work has been done on the property since that stop work order was issued?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. Did the property owner bring the property into compliance by the compliance date of May 16th?
No.
Okay. Did you issue a certified notice of code violation?
Yes.
That's starting at page 144 of the packet. Is that the letter that you sent
Correct.
on July the 8th?
Yes.
How did you send this letter?
This was sent certified mail.
Does this letter also provide the code violation?
Yes, the same code violation.
All right. And in this certified notice of code violation, did you set another compliance date?
Yes, that date, it was July 22nd of 2025.
Did the property owner bring the property into compliance by that date?
No.
All right. In the packet, there is a photograph on page 147 of certified mailing. Is this the notice of code violation?
Yes.
And the green card that is attached to it on the next page, 148, is that associated with that notice?
Yes.
All right. As of today, is the property in compliance?
No.
Has the city received any applications for permits for this property?
No applications for permits, but I did receive an email earlier this afternoon of a signed agreement to work with an engineer to help design the wall.
And who did that email come from?
That came from either Aaron or Michael Marsh with Shoreline Island Resort.
All right. Since the property was not in compliance, did you issue a notice of hearing for today's hearing?
Yes,
And is that reflected on page 149 of the agenda packet?
it is.
And how did you send this notice of hearing to the property owner?
It was sent regular mail, certified mail, and the property was also posted.
All right. Did you also issue a statement of violation and request for hearing starting at page 153 of the agenda packet?
Yes.
On page 155 of the agenda packet, there's an affidavit of service. Can you explain what this document is?
That explains that a copy of the notice of hearing was mailed, first-class mail, as well as certified mail, and that the property was posted, and that City Hall was also posted.
All right. And did you attach photographs of those postings?
Yes, that is on page 157, is a photograph of those notices being posted at the property, and 158 is a photograph of the posting here at City Hall.
So if the special magistrate was to find that there was a violation of this particular code section for this property, how much time do you think would be a reasonable time for the property owner to come in and obtain a building permit?
I'd say 30 to 60 days.
Are there any life safety issues involved in this case?
As long as the area is protected and the rebar isn't exposed and it's capped and it's not accessible from the public, no.
All right. And if the property owner did not bring the property into compliance within that time frame, what is the city recommending dollar-wise for the daily fine?
$100 per day.
All right. All right, thank you. I have no other questions for Mr. Pinkert. I would tender into evidence pages 136 through 158 of the agenda packet.
All right, I'll go ahead and accept into evidence as exhibit number 1, pages 136 through 158 of the agenda packet. All right, is there anyone here on behalf of the owner, Mr. Marsh, or anybody on behalf of the owner at 14200 Gulf Boulevard? All right, come on forward. And we'll start, just give us your name.
My name is Aaron Mata.
And how do you spell your first name and last name?
Aaronmotta.
All right, and Mr. Mata, what is your relationship to the owner of the property, or your relationship
I am
to
the
property?
GM of the property.
All right, general manager, I take it?
That's it.
Okay. As you have seen now for a while, I'm going to give you the opportunity in just a few minutes to tell me anything you want to tell me, but you have the right to cross-examine Mr. Pinkard based on his testimony. Do you have any questions you want to ask Mr. Pinkard?
I do not currently know.
All right, sounds good. Don't go far. I don't know if we have any other witnesses. So, Mr. Trask, anyone else?
No other witnesses for the city.
All right. Mr. Mata, this is your opportunity to tell me anything you want to tell me about the violation, call any witnesses of your own, give me any documents you want, or just tell me what's going on and what your plan is to fix this situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of in a tricky spot. It's in the CCCL, so it takes FDEP and Madeira Beach to kind of come to an agreement. So we're working with Ruben Clarkson, consulting to kind of get everyone pulled together in a room to see exactly what we can do to proceed to resolve things.
You heard the city say 30 to 60 days. How much time do you think you need to get all this
it would
done?
be nice. It would be better for that 60-day. We have had issues in the past with this consulting company being timely.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to tell me about this violation?
Nope.
All right. So you admit that you don't have a permit yet for that construction, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But now you're in the process of going through the engineering plans you need to get the necessary permit.
Correct.
All right. Mr. Trask, any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, Mr. Mata, thank you very much. You can have a seat. Are there any members of the public that would like to provide comment in regard to CE 25-70? Going once, going twice, no takers. All right, based upon the testimony presented to me and the admissions of the owner as a violation, I'll find that the property is in violation as set forth in the notice. The respondent, the owner, will have 60 days within which to correct the violation, to do what was stated on the record and in the notice. Thereafter, it'll be a $100 a day fine. Mr. Mata, I just note to you, if for whatever reason we're getting close to that 60-day number, that time, 60 days from now, and you don't have it, please talk to the city about getting an extension of time for compliance. Usually the city will work with you as long as you are diligently pursuing the corrective action. But don't let yourself get into a fine situation just because you need another 10 days. Come to the city and be proactive about that, okay? All right, you're welcome to sit around or you guys can leave. We'll go ahead and call the next case, which will be CE 25-65 for the property located at 401 150th Avenue.
Thank you. The city would call Holden Pinkard as its witness in this case. Holden, if you could state your name then, please, your occupation, your job responsibilities here at the city.
Holden Pinkard, Building Compliance Supervisor, and one of my responsibilities is issuing building code violations.
This property that's located at 401 150th Avenue, Is this a case that was a proactive case or complaint-driven?
This was a complaint
And what was the complaint the city received?
that there are the railings at the condominium. There's, I guess, knee walls or half concrete walls that were loose on the 6th or 7th floor, and some other maintenance issues with the aluminum carport area.
So did you go out to the property to determine whether or not there was an actual code violation?
Yes.
And when did you go out to the property?
That would be the same day that the courtesy notice was mailed. So that was April 22nd of 2025.
What did you find when you got to the property?
On page, let's see, 166, the lower level here, you can see some of that railing or wall missing and is taped off. And there's actually a section, what would that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe it's the 7th floor, the top floor here. One of those walls was something that you could just push and you would be falling over or falling to the ground.
Okay, is that the picture that's located on page 167?
Yes, correct.
All right. When you found that were these issues on the property, did you determine who the property owner was?
Yes, the property owner is Boca Vista Condo Association.
And you determined that by the Pinellas County Property Appraiser's Office?
Correct.
And that's reflected on pages 159 through 163 of the agenda packet?
Correct.
All right. When you went out to the property and you found that there were violations out there, did you issue a courtesy notice of code violation?
Yes.
And is that the letter dated April 22nd, 2025 that's in the packet starting at page 164?
Correct.
And what were the code sections that you cited the property owner with?
Section 14-69, which is maintenance of the exterior premises. The exterior and all structures thereon, including but not limited to private property and vacant lots, shall be kept free of hazards to the health, safety, and welfare of persons on or near the premises. And section 14-70, the exterior of every structure shall be maintained in good repair, kept painted, structurally sound, and free of crumbling stone or brick.
When you issued this courtesy notice of code violation, did you just send this by regular mail?
Yes.
Did you request that the property be brought into compliance by a date certain?
Yes.
What date was that?
April 29th of 2025.
And let's talk about the corrective action. What corrective action were you requiring the property owner to take?
Corrective action was to apply for permits to repair and or remove the carports and immediately take appropriate steps to have a licensed professional inspect and address the life and health safety issues, including the railing and the structural concerns.
When you sent that letter, did you send some photographs attached to it?
Yes.
And are those the two photographs that you mentioned earlier, as well as other photograph? Is there another photograph?
Was the photographs on 166, 167, 168, and 169.
All right. If you could go back to 168. And what does this picture depict?
This is a portion of the carport area that is either in need of repair or to be removed.
And 169?
169 is from the 7th floor looking down. One of the residents had a concern about this area that needed to be painted and or sealed.
Did the property come into compliance by the compliance date that you gave in the courtesy notice?
No.
Did you issue a certified notice of code violation?
Yes.
When was that done?
June 16th of 2025.
That had the same code sections being cited
Yes.
and the same photographs attached for the same violations?
Correct.
And did you also give another date for corrective action to be taken?
Yes.
When was that?
June 30th of 2025.
How did you send that letter?
That was sent certified mail.
And when it was sent by certified mail, did you get the certified mail back?
It is not in the packet, but I believe we did, yes.
Okay. So when either one of the letters were sent out, did you receive any correspondence, phone calls, emails, anything that would reflect that the condominium association was being responsive to their letters that were being sent?
Recently, within the last, I would say, 2 weeks to 3 weeks, possibly longer than that, I have received emails from an individual, but not addressing, I guess, the main concern, the highest level railing.
Okay, so who are you receiving that correspondence from?
From a Ron Andrews.
And did he tell you that he is with the condominium association?
Yes.
And did he tell you what his position was?
The board of directors.
Okay. Is the property in compliance as of today?
No,
Did you issue a notice of hearing for today?
I did, yes.
And is that on page 176 of the packet?
Yes.
In the let me skip up by. In the attached to the notice of hearing, there is an affidavit of service. Can you explain to the special magistrate what that is for?
That is an affidavit stating that the notice of hearing was sent via certified mail, first-class mail, that it was posted at the property and posted here at City Hall.
Okay, I noticed that in the notice of hearing and the statement of violation, it specifically references a violation of having failed to get a building permit versus the original notice of violation, which is for section 14-69, 14-70. What is the actual code violation?
The actual code violation is the 1468 and 1469 exterior maintenance.
1469 and 1470?
Correct.
All right. When you issued the affidavit of service, does that reflect that you sent the notice of hearing to the property owner by regular mail, certified mail, posted it at the property, and also posted it at City Hall?
Yes.
Okay. And in the packet, there are some photographs. Can you explain what those photographs are at the very end of the packet? Be pages 183 and 182.
182 is a photograph of the posting at the property, the notice of hearing, and 183 is a photograph of the posting of notice of hearing here at City Hall.
All right. If the special magistrate was to find that there is a violation of these two cited code sections, 1469 and 1470, what do you think is a reasonable amount of time to bring the property into compliance?
30 days.
And what would be the daily dollar amount of the fine for every day that the property is not brought into compliance?
$250 per day.
And what's the reason that it would be that you're recommending the highest fine possible?
Because of the life and health safety concern.
All right, thank you. I have no other questions for Mr. Pinkard. I would tender into evidence the agenda packet, which starts at page 159 and ends at page 183.
All right, I'll go ahead and accept into evidence as exhibit number 1, pages 159 through you say 63?
83.
183 of the agenda packet. All right, is there anyone here on behalf of Boca Vista Condominium Association, Inc.? Anyone want to speak on behalf of the owner? All right, come on up, sir. Good afternoon, sir. First, tell me your name, and then tell me your relationship to Boca Vista Condominium Association, Inc.
Yes, my name is Ron, R-O-N, last name Andrews, A-N-D-R-E-W-S.
All right. And what is your relationship with the Condominium Association?
Okay, I am an owner. I was the past president, and I was on the board for 5 years, a total of 5 years, 4 as president. And in my capacity right now, I'm assisting the board. Unfortunately, our board went down from a total of 7 to 5. 4 of the members are not in the area right now to represent Boca Vista. They're back in their primary residences in different states or in Canada. And the other board member who just was replacing one who resigned was I felt as far as wasn't knowledgeable enough to, address these issues.
Fair enough. Mr. Andrews, I'm going to give you a chance in just a minute to tell me anything you want to tell me. Do you have any questions for Mr. Pinker? Would you like to ask any cross-examination questions of him?
Well, I would just like to say, as far as the information that I received, okay, the initial, I received an initial email from Kathleen, and I apologize if Cruteau, and that was dated on April the 22nd with the various safety concerns that they had raised with our property here. And Kathleen came out, and I met with her, and also I believe it was Raul Perez of the fire. I don't know if he's fire chief or whatever. And so we walked the property, and we heard their concerns and things like that. Immediately thereafter, so that was on the 22nd that they came out, and the email was sent. On 4/26, myself and our handyman and another member of the board actually addressed all of the safety concerns that were there on that day, and we contacted Raul Perez, and he came out a few days later and was very satisfied with all of the safety steps that we took of all of the areas concerned.
And Mr. Andrews, I don't want to interrupt you, but do you have any questions you want to ask Mr. Pinkert? And then I'm going to let you continue to tell me whatever you want to tell me.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that, as far as the information that he didn't, we got this information, but that I had met with other members that weren't included in his report.
All right. So I'm going to let you tell me about all of those and continue in just a moment. Do you have any questions you want to ask Mr. Pinkert, though?
No, and I want to thank him. I've been in contact with him within the last week, and he's been very, very helpful.
All right. Hold on just one second, Mr. Andrews. Does the city need to call anybody else?
No other witnesses.
All right. Mr. Andrews, please continue telling me what you want to tell me about these violations and any actions you've taken to address them.
Okay. One of the things that was brought up on, as far as the pictures and stuff like that, there were multiple things that were wrong. One of the things as far as was the carport, and that the carport repair has been addressed. The permit was signed off on, and everything has been completed as far as the carport with the city of Madeira Beach. The second thing, as far as once we received this email on the 22nd. We were given a number of companies to contact and stuff like that could do the repair, that were recommended repair work, by Kathleen. We contacted, there were 3 of them, only one of them was interested in doing the job, so we contacted them. They came out, they prepared a bid, and then we received a second bid from a company that had done a lot of work on Boca Vista over the last 10 years. And so we got the 2 bids together. The board approved as far as going with DJ Shepherd Restoration, and also that he was going to work with J&M Aluminum regarding any of the railing repairs that were mentioned, in the complaint. Since that point in time, Mr. Doug Shepard had taken care of the situation on the 7th floor, the loose wall. And then another thing that I hadn't received as far as, on the dates and things like that, we haven't received anything since that initial April 22nd and my conversation with Raul that everything was safety compliant. And if there was something that was sent in June or whatever, I'm sorry, but at least I don't recall. I don't recall receiving any sort of correspondence. The next one that we received was just, a couple of weeks ago with the notice that was posted in front of the building, and then immediately I tried to bring Mr. Pinard up to date on everything that we've been doing. Again, DJ Shepard had done the repair up on the 7th floor, and then we're working with J&M Aluminum. I received incorrect information from them. I thought they had applied for the permit, and when I found out that they didn't, I got on their case. So this was just last week, Friday. I talked to them today, and they said that they were submitting the permit information, which was the engineering report and any sort of paperwork that was required. And I sent emails to Holden regarding all of these. So I've tried to keep him in the loop and stuff like that. I apologize for the misunderstanding. We take safety very, very seriously. And, this is the final project of a lot of things that, were damaged during the hurricane. And we hope to have this corrected very soon.
All right, thank you, Mr. Andrews. Mr. Trask, do you have any questions for this witness?
I do have a few questions.
Go ahead.
So, Mr. Andrews, let's talk about the carport.
Yes.
You say the permit was issued and the work has been completed?
That is correct.
So the carport has been completely rebuilt?
As far as what the permit was, it wasn't completely demolished. There was most of the whole new roof was put on, and everything was done according to code compliant with the city.
All right. So your testimony today is that the carport permit was issued and the roof was placed back on the carport?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's talk about the address that is listed with the property appraiser's office. It lists an address of 10033 Dr. Martin Luther King Street North, Suite 300, St. Petersburg.
Okay, that's our that's the address of our property management company, which is PBM.
Okay, so are they still your property management company?
Yes, they still are our property management company.
All right. Have you contacted them to determine whether or not that they've been receiving all these notices and not been providing them to you?
This last one that we received here, I did get that, okay, but again, I don't recall receiving anything else prior to this.
Okay. Would you have been the person that would have been receiving it since you were no longer on the board?
Yes. I'm as I say, I'm helping out the board, so I'm the one that sees all, as far as the Boca Vista Gmail system, I see all of the emails that come in.
Okay. All right. How much time do you think it's going to take you to finalize the repairs on the building?
Okay, well, again, the only thing that is remaining is the project with J&M Aluminum. Again, if the information that they're telling me is correct, they did get all of the materials in. Once they get the approval for the permit, they can schedule the work, which should not take very long.
All right. There's a couple of photographs I want you to take a look at.
Sure.
And so up on the screen right now is a photograph of the wall.
That's correct, and that has been completed.
So this is on the 7th floor of the building,
That's on
correct?
the 7th floor, yes.
So this wall has been removed and replaced?
No. The wall was not removed. It was, and I sent Holden all of the information from Doug Shepard that was done regarding this project, and it was everything that was done to make it code compliant.
So my question to you, was the wall loose or was it just the aluminum railing?
No, there was nothing wrong with the railing. There was nothing wrong with the railing in this. It was just the wall was loose.
So what was done with the wall to correct it? That's the bottom line I'm trying to get to.
Okay, that is,
Was it removed and replaced?
no, that's the same wall there. Well, let me see if I can. Okay, this was from DJ Shepherd Restoration. Remove spalled concrete to a solid area. Prime with skia bonding agent. Inject two-part epoxy in rebar holes, pre-existing rebar still in place. Apply hydraulic cement to match. Apply primer on patch with skia coating. Apply Benjamin Moore Estamere coating to the finish. Approximate area of this was just 2 cubic feet.
Okay.
So the existing wall was on the right-hand side over there. That's where all of the repair was actually done. The actual wall remained intact.
All right. Now I'd like you to go to we're going to show you the other photograph, page 172, if you could, Holden. It's the first photograph, the whole building, right there. Sir, if you could see on the first floor, there's a section of something missing.
That is correct. Yeah, that's the railing. That is one of the railing repairs that J&M Aluminum will be doing. Okay, so that still needs to be done, and again, it's pending the permit. On the other side of the building, and I don't think they took a picture of that. On our pool area, there was another section of railing which was completely ripped out, and so that's another one. But I think it was included in the notes of the original email. Yeah, so both railing projects, J&M Aluminum is supposed to address.
So, one last question then. Time frame wise,
Yes.
How much time do you think it's going to take to bring the property into compliance?
Okay, what I've been told is once the permit is done, they're ready to do the project. So, and I don't think the project is going to take that long.
So the city believes you can get that accomplished within the next 30 days. Do you think you can get it accomplished within the next 30 days?
I'm relying on, again, I'm not a railing expert, but obviously I'll push them on this. I would hope that it can be done. I feel it should be able to be done, but I can't speak for J&M Aluminum.
Okay. I have no other questions. Thanks.
All right. I don't have any questions for Mr. Andrews. I may have some questions for Mr. Pinkert here in a couple minutes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Andrews. Anything else you want to present to me today?
No. Again, we're concerned about the safety. We want to get this final project done, and we're looking forward to work with the city to make it happen here.
Yeah, thank you. And I would encourage you, even right now, to go ahead and deal with the city and talk to them about the work you've already done.
Okay.
Maybe, hang out after this meeting for a few minutes and talk to Mr. Pinkert about that so somebody
Right.
can take a look at
I have
that.
been sending him numerous emails the last week or so. Thank
Okay,
you.
great. All right. Are there any members of the public that would like to provide comment on CE 25-65 for the property at 401 150th Avenue? All right, seeing none. Mr. Pinkert, I just have a couple questions because I want to make sure that my order is clear, especially given the representations that were made by Mr. Andrews and everything. So the corrective action that is required is depicted on pages 172, 173, 174, and 175 of the agenda packet. Is that correct?
Correct.
In regard to the page 172, the only railing I see that needs repair is the one that's on the face of this, but is there something, I just want the record to be very clear as to what the city's asking for corrective action in regard to page 172. When I hear spalling, I don't want my order to be misinterpreted one way or the other. So we're just asking, you're asking the owner to repair the missing railing and the damaged railing depicted in page 172?
Correct, on 172, and then it's the same, I guess, face that you look at on 172, but then it's the 7th story railing and/or wall.
Okay, and that's depicted on page 173
Correct.
of the agenda packet, correct?
Correct.
And it would be to fix that area that is denoted in the picture being a danger area.
Correct.
All right. And then in regard to page 174, the corrective action would be to demolish, repair, replace the carport that's there.
Right. I don't think this needs to be included in the order. I found that the permit was pulled and a final inspection has been done to repair the carport.
All right. So there's no existing violation that's depicted on page 174 of the agenda packet. That violation does not exist as we sit here today. Okay.
Correct.
And then what is the corrective action, if any, that is whatever's depicted on page 175 a violation? And if so, what corrective action needs to be taken in regard to what's depicted on page 175?
Would just be to paint and seal.
Okay. All right. I don't think I have anything else. Mr. Trask, do you have any follow-up questions for Mr. Pinkard based on my questions?
No.
Mr. Anders, you heard the questions that I asked and the answer he gave. Is there anything else you want to talk to me about or ask Mr. Pinkard about? I'm just trying to get an understanding of what's already done.
Okay.
Come on forward. You just got to be on the microphone.
Yeah, again, this is a railing situation, even though it wasn't listed here, we did have a railing situation on the other side of the building that is also part of the contract that we signed with J&M Aluminum, and that's also going to be taken care of, so.
All right. Well, thank you very much, sir. All right. Anything else, Mr. Trask?
I would just ask that you find that the property is still in violation of the cited code sections 14-69 and 14-70. Give the property owner 30 days to come into compliance. Should it not be in compliance by that time, that a $250 a day fine be assessed for each day that the property remains in non-compliance.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and find there are violations of code section 14-69 and 14-70. Specifically, those code violations are what is referenced and shown on pages 172, 173, and 175 of the agenda package. I'm going to give and it may be, Mr. Anders, that you've already corrected that wall. The city just needs to inspect it. But I'm going to give you 30 days, or the association 30 days to correct those. Thereafter will be $250 a day fine. Mr. Anders, please share with the board that if you need more time, please do it. Obviously, I'm very concerned about when I see something on the 7th floor that has a big danger sign on it. Certainly my role is to determine whether or not there's been a violation. It certainly looks like there is. The fact it's on the 7th floor creates a health, safety, and welfare issue. So I do believe that 30 days is justified and $250 a day fine is justified. It sounds like you've already corrected that work, which is great. If you need more time on the railing work because a permit gets hung up or something like that, please come back. In fact, I'm getting ready to consider in just a few minutes two property owners who are asking for more time. So if you need more time and you're making progress and it's just some technical issue, then please come tell me, but otherwise it's 30 days. All right?
Very good.
Thank you, sir, very much for your time today. All right, let's move on to old business. The first matter on the agenda is CE 24-255. That's the case number, and the property is 14239 West Parsley Drive. I understand this is an affidavit of compliance. Go ahead, Mr. Trask.
Yes, the city is submitting an affidavit of compliance for your acceptance. You remember that this property had been before the special magistrate on a couple of occasions. The last time you extended the compliance date until August 6th of this year. The property did come into compliance on August 16th. There are 10 days of violation that would be associated with this violation. I ask that you accept the affidavit of compliance.
All right, and is the city asking me to put a fine in the order for those 10 days?
Yes.
And what is that amount?
The previous order of June the 8th provided $100 per day for every day the property remained in violation.
All right, and so we have 10 days, we have $1,000?
Correct.
All right. Okay, is there anyone here in regard to CE 24-255. Is the owner or anyone on behalf of 14239 West Parsley Drive here? Going once, going twice. Okay. Based upon, you need to put on any evidence? You just want me to accept into the record?
Just accept it in the record.
All right, I'll go ahead and accept into the record what is set forth in the agenda package as pages number 206 through 215, and find the property is in compliance as of August 16th, 2025. Put in my order fine of $1,000. That's 10 days at $100 a day. All right, let's go on to the next one, which is for CE 24-63, the property located at 435 South Bayshore Drive. I understand this is up before me on a affidavit of compliance.
That is correct. The property is in compliance. The case came before you originally on February 24th, 2025. You entered an order on March 3rd, 2025, finding the property in violation, ordering a compliance date of May 10th, 2025, or $250 a day fine. Subsequent to that, on May 27th, there was a second hearing. You accepted the affidavit of non-compliance and imposed the fine of $250 a day for every day the property remained in non-compliance. As of August 21st, the property did come into compliance. So we're asking that you accept the affidavit of compliance, finding it in compliance as of August 21st, and maybe a second order imposing the fine as referenced in the prior order dated June 8th. And I also ask that you accept into evidence the agenda packet 216 through 226.
All right, I'll accept into evidence as exhibit number 1, agenda packet pages 216 through 226. All right, is there anyone here on behalf of the owner or wants to speak on behalf of the property located at 435 South Bayshore Drive and at CE 24-63? All right. Seeing none, Mr. Trask, can you help me do the math on that? What's the fine city's looking for on that one?
Oh, I didn't do the math.
I can turn on my phone and get out my calculator if you want, but if somebody's got the math done, that makes my life that much easier.
So the math would be from May 10th, 2025 through August 21, 2025. So 20 days in May, 30 days in June, 31 days in July, 21 days in August, 102 days at $250 a day. You want me to do that math?
Go ahead, Mr. Trask. I would have gotten out my calculator. Your elementary school math teacher is going to be very proud of you, Mr. Trask, if he or she is watching today.
So it looks like $25,500.
And is that what the city's asking for?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and enter an order of compliance as of August 21, 2025. I will issue a second order imposing a fine for 102 days at $250 a day for a total of $25,500. Okay, the next matter on the agenda is CE 25-4. This is a request for additional time for the property at 14601 Gulf Boulevard to come into compliance. Go ahead, Mr. Trask.
So the city received a request for a extension of time, additional 30 days to come into compliance. You remember that this had been previously before you at the hearing on August 12th. There was a finding of the violation. It ordered the property owner to come into compliance by September 11th, 2025. or suffer a fine of $250 a day. The city has no objection to extending it 30 days to bring it to October the 11th as requested.
All right, is there anyone here on behalf of the owner or the property located at 14601 Gulf Boulevard? All right, sir, you've certainly deserved to tell me everything you want to tell me based upon your patience today. So I understand you're asking for an additional time to October 11th, 2025. City has no objection. So anything else you want to tell me before I grant this?
Actually, we just found out that there was some asbestos in it, about 350 square feet. So if we could extend that to 60 days, just so we can safely remove the asbestos and complete the demolition.
Ms. Trask, your thoughts on that?
I would ask Mr. Pinkard.
I have no objection to that.
Is that would be the 11th of November. Is that a weekday or is that a weekend? I just want to make sure it's a weekday. And whatever, if it's a weekend, let's just extend it to the next Monday.
November 11th is Veterans Day, is a Tuesday.
All right, I'm sure that's a recognized holiday, so let's extend it to the 12th. That's not a holiday, and that would be, okay? All right, and sir, give me your name again.
Sean Suddeth.
Okay, that's what I thought, sir. Okay, I will go ahead and grant the extension, the additional time to bring the property into compliance until November 12th, 2025. If for whatever reason, again, you're working diligently and you run into another issue like this, please come back before the city. I mean, you see what happens if you don't bring it into compliance. I am going to enter order granting a fine. So thank you for your time today. Thank you for sticking it out, and you have until November 12th, 2025 to bring it into compliance.
Thank you.
All right, the last one that I have before me today is CE 25-71 for the property located at 14060 Miramar Avenue. And this is another request for additional time. Go ahead, Ms. Trask.
Yes, this property owner, DNR Realty and Estates LLC, is requesting an additional extension. You'll remember that you've already given them one extension. You extended it from, I believe, July 11th to September the 6th. They're asking for additional time. The city has no objection to a 30-day extension to put it at October the 11th.
All right. Is there anyone here on behalf of DNR Realty and Estates LLC or anyone who wants to speak in regard to this motion for an extension in regard to the property located at 14060? All right. Seeing none, based upon the city's agreement, we'll extend it to October 11th, 2025. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll go ahead and extend this one to October 11th, 2025. All right, are there any more matters before me today?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right, I appreciate all the time for the city staff and everyone who came out today. Thank you all very much.